Good evening. It's not evening, it's morning. Good morning,
Uh,
everyone. Good Monday morning. I hope everyone's going to have a great week and that you had a good weekend. This is the Community Safety Advisory Subcommittee of the Tenant Services Committee of the Board of Toronto Community Housing. And today we have a quorum with 3 members, myself, Paula Fletcher as chair, Uba Farah, director, who's a tenant, and Marcel Charlebois, who is a director who's a tenant. And our purpose is to look into a number of specific things around safety, community safety being such an important issue at TCHC. But first, I'd just like to say that we are meeting today. Our meeting is on the traditional lands of many nations, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and the Chippewa peoples, and many Métis people, Métis Nation Inuit people who live in Toronto. And we also are subject to the Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So that is, we're very happy to be meeting today on these lands. With that, you have the agenda in front of you. We have approval of the public agenda, and I wonder if there it is. We're going to have business arising in the violence reduction program. So could I get an approval of that agenda from you, Marcel? Moving, all in favor, opposed, that carries. Do any of the members have to declare, would any of the members like to declare conflict of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Hearing none, that's great. The confirmation of the public meeting minutes of June 23rd. Having read those, any questions on those minutes or comments? If not, Uba, can I ask you to move those, please? All in favor? Opposed? Those are carried. Thank you. Are there any deputations this morning, by the way?
we have not received any
Okay.
request to depute to the committee this morning.
Great, thank you very much. So the next is business arising from the public meeting minutes and action updates. You'll find that on page 7. There is the City of Toronto. No, wrong. Sorry, Derek, can I just have that up, please? The business
Sorry,
arising.
give us 1 second. Sonia, can you hold on for a second? I just want to make sure that we've got the right version up.
I just have the in-camera action item list as page 7, so I just want to be clear.
Just want to make sure that we've got the right one.
Thank you.
So there is one item on the public action item list, the violence reduction program update for Q1 of 2022. The action item is that management is to provide a breakdown of gun violence incidents by community and data of gun violence incidents prior to 2018 in future VRP update reports. And we've identified a target date of November 22nd as the date at which we'll bring that back. And so the committee should expect to see that in future versions of the VRP update report.
That's great. And I will just note that Jeffrey has been working on some of that. So who's doing that at your end, Nadia?
So Chair Fletcher, I know that Al Britton from CSU, Senior Director, is working with Mona Botani to put that information together. And I believe a briefing note was included.
Yes, okay. So I'll just ask them to work with Jeffrey. He's got a lot of analysis that he's been doing, which I think will serve us very well. Thank you. So are we going to look at the report now? Item 6? Are we ready to do that?
So Chair Fletcher, I know that our Senior Director of Community Safety Unit is able to speak to the report overall. Last time we just went straight to questions. I don't know if you want him to go through a bit of a synopsis and then we go into questions, whatever the committee prefers. We're happy to indulge.
I guess I just want to establish who leads the VRP. Where is it led from? Is it the CSU? Or is
So
it through the COO?
So Chair Fletcher, there are two dual components to the violence reduction program. One is led by Al Britton and the CSU team. There is a complementary component that focuses on community development through the regions, and that is led by our community safety and support pillar lead, Likwan Kala. But the report today is, and the overview can be given by Al Britton. But LIC was deeply involved, and we have the local teams also deeply involved in implementing the program.
Okay, because I think the community development side should be, CSU calls are one thing, but the community development side is a different thing. And so I think I want to ask that we're clear there, because part of our review is looking at where the community safety piece starts. My preference would be to have, calls for service, that's very clear, page 22, because those are calls for service. But the community response, Taibu and others, I don't think CSU is leading that part. Or are you? Is it? Who's leading that part?
They're not. So again, Director Likwan Kala supports that work with the local teams. We can maybe frame the report in a way that is a little bit clearer in terms of what the different pieces are. There's a lot of integrated work that happens between the CSU components as well as Likwa's team and the community partnerships. But the report is structured in a way that they each speak to their own components, and we can make that a little bit more clear if that's helpful.
It calls for service, the kind of service, the types of crimes, really and truly, because we are looking at their calls for, how many police calls were there around these same incidents? We don't know. Page 21 is great. It's very clear. It's actions taken, who's done what kind of calls for service there are. But the tenancy parts that have to do with, and I'm unclear there, the role of the CSU with the ice cream truck tour, that looks like that the CP, that I guess I'm somebody that believes that somebody's got to be in charge of different things, and I don't like lines too blurred. So I'm a little concerned that there's different sections, and I think it would be helpful to have that done in that way. That who's responsible for which part, community development side. And I don't know, I believe the CSU is involved in community development. That's probably a new piece. I'm unclear about that too. And then under whose direction, because that is a community development piece. So I think, Jag, I'm kind of asking that we're much clearer as to who's doing what. And those roles are more clearly defined. I think that will be helpful with the CSU review and just regular review of community safety.
Thank you, Chair Fletcher, and I'll work with Nadia to ensure that's the case.
Yes, I don't need to go too much into this. We've had a long discussion today. I don't know if you are going to have any questions, Marcel or Uba, on that. Okay, can you just give us a really quick level overview, Al, for your side? And then, Jag, I'm going to ask Likwa to just give us the community development side, because I want to keep them in two streams here. Thank you. Good morning,
yes,
Al.
Good morning, Councillor Fletcher. Good morning, members of CSAC. Just a quick high-level overview is, as you're aware, the CSU works very closely with their community support pillar, and we, again, as has been stated, we do calls for service. We do community outreach, but we also are becoming more embedded in the communities through our people being assigned directly to the same community time and time again. And as such, we're starting to see the relationships form in a very positive manner. What we've seen statistically is a slight increase in calls for service in the VRPs. And sometimes that's through the self-generated work of our staff. Because our staff are on the properties, sometimes we see spikes in the calls for service because our officers have established a relationship that people feel comfortable reporting and calling them to take care of problems that perhaps they may not have called for previously. So we at times we do see that as a positive, although we would like to obviously lower that long term. There are short term benefits that we see with that. So that was an increase of 274 calls, which is a 6% increase. I'm very happy to say that we have seen a decrease in violent crime, and that's called crimes against persons, which is assaults with weapons, assaults where people are striking someone else. We've seen an increase, or sorry, a decrease of 28 incidents, which is a 38% decrease from the same period of time in 2021. We've also seen a minimal decrease in crimes against property, which would be thefts, thefts of bicycles and other things. That has gone down by 4 incidents, so it's really insignificant. It's almost similar to last year. We've also seen an increase in our foot patrols, our special constables in the buildings, walking and being seen and communicating with tenants and site staff. We've also seen our special constables work closely with the integrated management teams at Dan Harrison, Bleecker Wellesley, Moss Park, Regent Park, Lawrence Avenue East, and 2195 Jane Street. And the importance of that is the information sharing that's done in a collaborative manner, where we're talking not only from an enforcement standpoint, we're talking about problems at a deeper level, trying to find root causation and try to work to solve that so we don't have to go to calls for service down the road. And that basically is a high-level statistical review. Our CSAs are very active in the communities, of course, pre-incident where they're doing audits, but they're also post. If something happens, an incident occurs of a violent nature, our CSAs go and work and organize the community safety meetings. So we have had several of those that are documented in the report. So that's it from the CSU side. Liqua, I don't know if you wanted to take it from there.
Through the chair, thank you, Al. So we have noted that there is not confusion, but sometimes folks don't understand that there is a community development side to the violence reduction program. I think in one of your packages in the past, you may have seen there is a VRP org chart. So as Nadia mentioned, as pillar lead, I have a manager within my unit who manages all the admin support and centralized support for the VRP program. Through the regions, we have 2 CSCs in Central, so only 2 community service coordinators, because they are primarily looking at mental health and vulnerability, and they only have 1 category 4 community within Central. The East and the West region have 3 CSCs each. 2 of the CSCs are generalists, and then 1 in each region is specific to youth. At the time when the VRP communities were selected, and the reason why they were selected, the feeling was there weren't that many youth issues coming out of Central. But if you're reading the report, you will note that there are some youth referrals that are being done within the Central region team as well. So the work that has been the focus of the community services coordinators, particularly over the summer, has been that of engaging, bringing folks together, particularly tenant leaders who've got different safety initiatives that they want to do. Many of these are in collaboration with the VRP special constables themselves or the community safety advisors within CSU. Sometimes these are events or programs that are being done with the work of tenant leadership. Some of these have involved bringing folks back into socialization activities where they weren't able to do that during the pandemic. One of the two key pieces that we're going to be focusing on is the participation of the CSC, the VRP CSCs in the integrated team meetings. As Al mentioned, we've got the special constables and CSAs that are working with the local staff and are coming in there, but also the VRP CSC. So VRP is your centrally developed but locally implemented program. And so at a local level, while a special constable or a VRP CSC might not be able to be at every single hub meeting, we're asking that they attend the ones where there's a special focus or an initiative that's happening, or where there's been a request from community to see some safety related programming going on. And so that has started to happen. The other piece that we're doing is we are within the company, there's sort of 4 or 5 levels of CSCs. You've got a community economic development CSC, you've got an access and support tenancy management CSC, you've got an engagement CSC, and then you've got a VRP CSC. And also, I think within our complex tenancies, what used to be the TRO office, you've got your complex tenancies CSC. So we're working to create a specific workflow that differentiates what does a VRP CSC do in a community that already has an engagement CSC and an access and support person. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Liqua for all? No positions in these reports of the report. Jake, do you want to add anything, or Nadia, anybody? Don't have to, just offering it up.
No, Chair Fletcher, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much for that. I'm sure that this will, from some of the other discussions that we had, we'll just keep fleshing this out in real time, which will be great. And I noticed that Taibu is involved. Liqua, you've got Taibu in there, which is great. Special community health center for Black people. So I think that's fantastic that they're more engaged, that you brought them in. Okay, with that, is there anything else anybody wishes to raise today? I know that's not an agenda item, but I thought we're all here. If not, we'll
just a motion. We just need a motion to receive the report.
Yes, we get a motion to receive that. Ubo making that. All in favor, opposed, that carries.
Thank you.
Anything else here today? If not, I just want to thank all the staff for all their ongoing work. I know it's been a really busy time with Swansea. I'm wishing that there's not another major issue that has to be dealt with, and things are just calm and cool, and you can get on with all the great things that you do and all the big challenges that we have, and the big plans, implementing all of the plans that we've got, all the great plans. So with that, thank you very much, everybody, and see you at the TSC meeting. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.